Okay. I don't say welcome to my channel. Did I want to put this on the camera. Have I ever once said if anybody can find it in any video, send it to me. Welcome to my channel. I've never once said that. We got a guest over in the corner, but he's going to listen to my prattling on. I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. That's what we say here. We're small, but we're awesome. That's what we say here. We don't say welcome to my channel. Hey, what are we doing, guys? Oh, yeah, that's why he's allowed to prattle on. That was the word I was looking for. That's why. Mandalorian. And normally, you guys know I don't talk Star Wars over here a lot anymore. I don't talk Marvel huge anymore. I mean, I love doing that. It's my favesies thing, but for some reason they don't do as well, and then we find cool little niches and cool little shows to talk about. But still, I'm really digging The Mandalorian, so I want to talk about it. It really fell off for me in the beginning. I thought it was a bit of a slog. I thought it was a bit of a snooze fest. There were things I really appreciated. I really like the baptism of the new Mandalorian, who we end up finding out is Vizsla's Big Bulky's son. You guys know that I break things down over here so that every level of fan can enjoy it. So if you don't know Vizsla, big bulky blue guy, and his son, yeah, okay, his son got the baptism in the beginning. And like we've been talking about, which is a recurring theme over here for the past couple months, is when we have a large body of water introduced, it's like a baptism, a rebirth of a character, and then we have Din Djarin falling in, we have Bo-Katan falling in. I was also sleeping on. It's not that I was sleeping on her, I just didn't know how I felt about her until I saw her depression vibes in her castle mixed with episode 3, and now I'm on the Bo-Katan train. Oh, Carl Weathers has cape-holding droids. I need that. Iconic. Oh, and he directed the best episode. I forgot we didn't even get to this. Automatically, I don't know if he agrees with this or not, but everybody can just agree with it. Once you involve Carl Weathers with any form of production on anything, it elevates it. Because it's Carl Weathers, and we love him, and we stan him. But he had the most adorable, tiny, one-wheeled droids carrying his ends of his cape in that one episode. But the one thing Star Wars does is when they fan out, their capes don't bunch up. They're always flat and at the edges, so they must put like weights in them or something. So I'm always looking at how cool that is and how cool it looks, and then I look at Carl Weathers, and I'm like, hey, you ain't doing that. Oh, because you have little droid cape carriers, and I really love that a lot. I feel like episode 1 was fine. It was a fine Mandalorian episode. I feel like episode 2 was a bit of a... It was fine, it moved the story forward, but it was kind of boring, and it's like, we need to pop here. And then we got to episode 3. I wouldn't even say that was like super over-the-top crazy action time, but it was more of like a Manchurian Candidate spy thriller Stepford Wives things going on, but it also is, and I haven't talked about this on the channel, just blowing up social media with it, it was identical to the episode in Breaking Bad where Jesse and Walt kill Gale Boetticher. And they kill Gale Boetticher. It was exactly like that. It was like, okay, we have some... That's when I was like, oh, snap. Was when she picked up that briefcase. And I was like, oh, you wanted the bare minimum amount. You wanted the bare minimum amount to know what Moff Gideon needs to make another genetics lab. And you already have somebody in the background. Just like Gale Boetticher was to Walter White. You guys just need to know what equipment you need. And then you wiped his brain to tie up loose ends instead of blowing his brains out like Walt and Jesse do to Gale Boetticher. Essentially, the bad guys win, who is also Gus Fring. So it all works out perfectly. There's no way that a TV show says mobile laboratory, and everybody doesn't go Breaking Bad. The last time and only time we've ever seen that was Jesse, we need to cook, get the RV, buy the RV. That's exactly what was going on here. They did. I liked episode 3. My sister said she thought it was boring. My mom really liked it, but everybody I know who's a Star Wars fan really seemed to enjoy that episode. I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't mind going off with the doctor, and to do that so seamlessly to make the audience not hate it, that's hard to do, and especially Star Wars. I'm not shit-talking the wipe cuts. The transitions in Star Wars are jarring, to say the least, but we love it for that. It embraces that cheesy cowboy western in the outside of space vibe. So I don't hate it. We don't hate it. We love it. But it is a jarring transition, nonetheless. And so very rarely in Star Wars do we get this seamless transition. Oh, also, the beginning of that episode of episode 3 had some of the coolest flight choreography that I've ever seen. When Bo-Katan's ship wing knocked back and she turned, that was sick. When Din Djarin was falling and then shot back up, that was sick. Watching the castle get blown up was really sad. Yeah, but then the end of episode 3 is back with the covert. Really am digging everything going on there, because now you're in my realm of like bloodlines and things like of houses and kingdoms. I'm all about that shit. All right, let's rewind to episode 2 really, really quick. That was when he went to Mandalore and he gets captured. I had it explained better to me over at Multiverse of Geekdom. You guys can go check that out. It was super fun. Thank you for having me. That was awesome. But they had me on their Jedi Council, and that was awesome. It was super fun. But I was saying, like, was this some Harry Potter Elder Wand shit. Was this, like, when he gets the wand from Draco, but he physically tore it out of his hands? So I was like, oh, because this droid has, like, a biological eye, does it count as a living entity? And it technically did take the Darksaber, so now she can take it without a formal duel, and I end up finding out that's not the case. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's more of like a worthiness of like the trueness of your heart, and if you truly want to unite Mandalore or not. And it's like Din doesn't want to be in charge, and she does. So there's supposed to be a formal combat for it, so it's like, but it's more of like it knows your true. Like, I want to say it's like Thor's hammer. Pick it up, yeah. Yeah, no, well, they did a really good job with that, because Mom even noticed that in the second episode. She's running around with that thing way easier than he was. And then we have them falling into the water, all that stuff happening. But either way, I was like, oh, is this some Draco having the Elder Wand, but then Harry tearing it out of his hand, so now it counts as me winning it from you in a duel, but does it really? And I think it's more of a where does your heart lie type thing than it is in Harry Potter, where it's almost a definitive combat thing. Yeah, I liked episode 2 because there was a lot in it, but you needed to have that because we got Grogu doing the Force choke, doing the Sith choke, and they should have had him kill that thing. He should have outright killed it right then and there. Bing, bang, boom. Let's get it over with. Turn Grogu full Mandalorian, let him snap necks and pay checks. Why does anybody let me talk? Now do you see why I need somebody to tell me to stop talking?
No, that's good.
Right, because it's accurate. Let Grogu murder. Let him snap vertebrae in half. That's all I asked for more in that episode. But he runs back, gets Bo-Katan. I really like the way they set that up. I thought it was a little heavy-handed, but at least they did it. At least they cared enough to get that into the story of, like, I'm going to teach you how to pilot. Because a lot of other things would have been like, make it, Grogu, and he just would have went. And then people would have been like, plot hole. So it's like, it might have been a little heavy-handed, but I didn't hate it. He goes to get Bo-Katan. And that's when I started realizing, like, they want to bang, right? Is how quick she jumped up to be like, I'll help your dad out. I don't know. You kind of were really pissed at him a few minutes ago. And that's when I was like, okay, well, if you two bang and take over Mandalore, wouldn't that technically make Grogu the heir to Mandalore? And I don't know if people are going to get upset with me saying that. She gets him out of the droid cage. They go to the mines. She's looking at it like a joke. He's taking it really serious. And that's when she starts, well, this is when she first finds out. I didn't think he fell in. I thought that was bullshit, just so you know. The falling in, I didn't think he fell in. I thought he got snatched. Everybody's like, I slipped in, but I was like, you're really making it sound like you didn't willingly walk into this. It's a little off to me. I don't know if I would count that. It's like you didn't willingly go in, but... He didn't die. Exactly. Well, that's true, but I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't like them going with the fell thing, but I guess you'd have to do that for him to be unconscious for the Bo-Katan stuff, so I get it. Never mind. I lied. You guys just saw that in real time. Me figuring it out by having to talk about it out loud. Filing cabinet system. I can put the information in, but to refine it, I have to speak it out loud. So now she's finding out that all these stories from her religion are true. She's face-to-face with the Mythosaur, and she has her Daenerys Targaryen moment. She has her full-blown face-to-face with the dragon, this thing was never supposed to exist moment. It makes it even more impactful when later on with the covert, she's asking, or on the way to the covert, she's asking Din Djarin, like, did you see that too? And he's like, no. And so it's like, this is like some King Arthur stuff. This is like, I see the white stag, I see the pure heart, I'm going to touch it. And then you go away from it. That's also how you know who the hero is. They never kill the beast that they're about to ride on, or that they run into in the woods, or how prized it is to have on your wall. They never do that. And Bo-Katan didn't try to attack this Mythosaur. She left it be, and eventually I'm assuming it's going to come back into play. She gets accepted into the covert, really sick, really good way, really liked it. Liked her having a moment all on her own back at Mandalore, even though he was there, but like I said, knocked unconscious, I guess, by water. Episode 3 is where I really got interested again. Episode 3 is where I got back on board. At first I was like, man, is this just going to be a slow trek through this entire season? And I'm just going to be like, I'm happy because I'm seeing The Mandalorian, but I'm not happy because you're not giving me enough actual story. No, I don't feel that way after episode 3. Then episode 4 comes out, and I really liked this. I really liked it a lot. It's a solely Mandalorian story, just with the Mandalorians, plural, and it's awesome. Grogu on the beach with the crabs, and then Mando telling him, you better step your game up and become a challenger. And I like the way they handled it. You said they have to do the backflips and stuff. I disagreed. I said, don't make the Yoda mistake again. And then he said, well, that's all he kind of has. And I'm like, yeah, I guess if you really want to do it all over again and piss us off. But I get it, and I liked how they handled that. But prior to that, Mom said she thinks those crabs are coming to him because of the Force. like all of life is coming to him, right? Because of the Force. This is a Trekkie talking, so not me. My mom is a Trekkie. That's why I'm like, I love Star Wars. I know my stuff, but it's not my everything. And I just know people are gonna fight with me either way. So
he's like Snow White. So because he was there to him.
Yes.
Back to the ocean.
Disney princesses are Jedi confirmed.
Maybe.
That's actually a really good theory. We should build on that. Oh my god, but he's a prince. He's a Disney prince. Got him. But anyway, in all seriousness, that's what's happening. No, Mom said that the crabs are coming to him because of his strength in the Force, and that's what reminded me, we gotta get a Jedi back in here, right? If anybody pops, or you said the Sith is gonna come. Are any Jabba the Hutt-like Jedi? What is his species?
There is one. There is a...
They all Huttonese is the language. That's what I mean. This man has a language established after him.
No, there's a
okay?
For sure.
I'm just saying that's more than a mob family impact. You have a language that they speak because you didn't want to tolerate people that you didn't speak like you. That's some tyrant shit. That's way past mob boss. That's tyrannical. And I love him for it. And I will not apologize.
Just saying.
I don't understand why people don't love Jabba the Hutt more. I thought the Hutts were a family. I thought they were one faction of that species. That's why I'm like, where are the other ones? Who are the other 5 families? If there's a Jedi one. Anyway. Oh, good. Let me know what it is. Talking about episode 4. So Mando tells him to step up to the plate. I liked Bo-Katan going up and saying, like, my dad did the same thing with me. Because once again, royal family shit. So I really liked that. But on top of it, I just thought it was sweet. Because that is like what a parent does. They're like, get in there, kid. Make it work. You better get out there and not embarrass yourself or me. And it's great. If it goes correctly, like this did. Really, really enjoyed that. At first, I didn't think I would. And then seeing him overcome adversity, it was some Yoda stuff. It was some Yoda stuff. It was, don't judge me by my size. Don't judge me by my appearance. Don't judge my power by what I look like. Don't judge a book by its cover. Shut the fuck up.
Beldorian.
Beldorian? Let me see that shit. New favesies. Well, this is what I was saying earlier, too, to him, was I feel like Vizsla would have been like, that's my kid, a lot sooner. But then, yeah, their attachment to things, and even though that is, like, their most important thing, they're supposed to act a certain kind of way. So I get, by, like you were saying earlier, that eventually he gets pushed and is like, no, it's my kid, we gotta do this now. Which was cool. And I really liked them bringing back those baby raptors, that was adorable. But in between this journey to go get Vizsla's kid back, who at first was stunting on Grogu, you think that he's going to be besties with Grogu now. He says that Vizsla's kid and Grogu are going to be besties now, and he thinks Vizsla will die by the end of this series working on Bo-Katan's castle, right? Because they're all going to agree to go back to Mandalore. He thinks that Vizsla will be killed by the Mythosaur. I don't think that. Oh, wait, do you think it'll judge him? I see what you guys are saying now. Okay, I could see him getting judged by it and it going like, you have some corruption in your heart to hurt Mandalore. Just like how this Darksaber that his family created, right? Just like that, having a kind of a mind of its own. I feel like this Mythosaur is pretty... It's the same thing as dragons in Game of Thrones. They can think. They're very intelligent. Like, they know who's related, quote-unquote, related to them, who's a Targaryen, who's a dragon rider. They can sense that. So I'm assuming this Mythosaur is the same, and maybe it's going to judge Vizsla and go, you're up to some sneak shit.
I mean,
you're a threat to Mandalore. Or it'll be an accident. Then Mythosaur will knock him down and he'll go into the water.
They both
Either way, killed by the Mythosaur. That's on our Star Wars bingo card today for the Mandalorian. I didn't mind them making him have a blood relative as a kid. I thought that would make things more contentious later on, but you're saying that him and Grogu are going to be besties. I think that might, if it wasn't for the Raptor stuff being thrown in and watching them all come together the way they did, I would say that I think it's going to be a big problem.
We'll see, I think because...
Kids are kids, no matter what cult they're in.
Well, they're the family, like getting...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the other part I want to know. Is it his blood kid? This is his blood kid, right? He reacted way too much like a dad. Yeah, he was a parent, yeah.
Well, that's what it was. Like, he was trying to be cool until he couldn't be cool no more.
So do you think that him and Din Djarin have a new respect for each other? Did we talk about this? Okay, so yeah, him and Din Djarin have a new respect for each other. I think that they both realize, like, Grogu might not be his blood, but he loves him just the same as Vizsla loves his son, which I can appreciate that. I love a good parent loving their kid thing. And like I said, that's scary. Parents are scary. They're scary individuals. It's a scary thing when you can look at somebody like my mom and go, like, I could see you going full Cersei Lannister if somebody hurt your kids, and they don't bat an eye, and they're like, yeah, that's a scary thing. Psychopaths say that shit. And parents. We have Grogu left behind with the armorer. I really loved that. It really showed him with a group now, with a family, with a whole group of people, not just our Mando. It's just Grogu and the Armorer that we know back over here. And Carl Weathers directed this episode, I'm not kidding. And then we start to see the Armorer making another piece of armor for Grogu, which, adorable, love to see it. Also, are you just making him armor because you're trying to not skimp on everybody else? I don't know, because you seem to be whipping him out a lot of stuff, and these guys seem to be in some hunks of junk out here. I'm just making a statement.
I mean, but he has no armor.
No, he's got a mithril. He's got some Frodo Baggins shirt on. Are you serious? He's got chainmail on.
He's got the chainmail, and now
he's got the chainmail. He's got the mythosaur necklace. He's got the belly pad now. I know. I'm just saying. It seems like he's getting a lot of things thrown his way. Then again, your dad brought back the biggest amount of Beskar. So yeah. Fair point. I get it, but they're definitely not going to throw a helmet on that cute little face this early. So I liked how they covered that up by saying he can't say the creed yet, even though he's trying to. If you listen to it back, he's trying so hard to say this is the way, and it's so cute. But you hate it, so whatever. But no, having Grogu with the Armorer, realizing this is my family now, he said it was as if Grogu was having a PTSD episode, which I didn't think that at first. And now I'm like, no, that's totally what was happening. At first I thought he felt guilty about leaving the Jedi and not going back. And then I realized, no, this is you going, I'll never allow that to happen to my family again. I won't allow that to happen to the Mandalorians. I won't lose my family again. And that's when he says, that's because Grogu is the Mandalorian, like the title. And I'm like, oh yeah. And he was like, I've been saying that this whole time. And I'm like, yeah, but it didn't fully sink in until now. And I truly do. I really do. I think that by the end of this, Grogu is going to be the heir to Mandalore. Especially after the, I don't know, the Bo-Katan Din Djarin stuff. And maybe I'm crazy, but I definitely think that, I want to know, can you take your helmets off to bang? Is that in the code?
They're going to change it.
Well, yeah, they're going to rule Mandalore and change the code eventually, but... or do they not bang? Are they supposed to be like Jedi? Are you supposed to raise foundlings like your own? That's what he thought, too. He thinks that once Vizsla is taken... Is this some bullshit knockoff shit? This ain't right. Take a sip of this. This ain't right. Whatever, man. I don't something wrong with this. It says 100% recycled bottle. League of Legends. Original taste. Delicious and refreshing. I don't... Either way. Oh, so he believes that once Vizsla is taken out of his spot, that will leave an open space for Boba Fett to come back in. Also, what I realized, when they came back and were like, oh, we have 3 more foundlings for you. And I was like, oh my god, they're sweet little dragon monster raptor babies. I really love them. Who's gonna ride them? Who's riding them? So it'll be Vizsla, and no, I think Bo-Katan has her own ship. Mando has his own stuff, so it'll be Grogu, Baby Vizsla, and Daddy Vizsla.
The armor.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
Because that's who they gave him to.
I'm telling you, man, she's somebody. She's banging a Jedi. She was a Jedi. There's something. Watch her go up and pet one of those motherfuckers, and it's gonna be like, meh, and we're all gonna go Jedi.
And then like
just like Rey did with that snake thing that people were mad about. Keep going.
Yeah, but like Boba Fett was able to harness that other beast too.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I want to know. So when we come in again, we have all of these Mandalorians on all these different creatures. We'll have Bo-Katan on the Mythosaur. But then again, like I said, maybe it will be Mando, Grogu, Daddy Vizsla, Baby Vizsla. Like, because Grogu and Mando can double up. I don't know. And then we'll have Bo-Katan on the Mythosaur, and we got Boba Fett on his Jabba the Hutt awesomeness. Episodes 3 and 4 really got me back into loving this and being geeked for it. It really, truly did. And I did it again. The one thing I love about the armor is that no matter who walks into that hut, no matter if it's stormtroopers, Bo-Katan, Vizsla, she don't care about who you are because we worship the Forge. We worship weapons. Right. I am a Mandalorian. Weapons are my religion. She don't turn from that Forge, and she's the coolest fucking character in this whole thing. So shout out to ladies with giant shoulders.
And this Forge and what his weaknesses were. So
yeah,
right there.
Because at first I thought he was guilty. I was like, he feels guilty for leaving the Jedi, and then I was like, no, he's never gonna allow this to happen again. This is some anger. This is some pissed offness.
We'll see that.
And so, like I said, we got 2 fighting cults here. We have 2 very big ideologies going on here, and I definitely don't think they're going to cover up that cute little face. I really want to see Boba Fett come back into the fold. I'm all for bloodlines and castles and kingdoms and thrones. I'm here for all that shit because I love Star Wars, but it's not my main squeeze. We got Bo-Katan. Like I said, I wasn't on the Bo-Katan train until after Episode 3. I don't know how they did that with an episode that had her in it for 30 seconds in the beginning and 30 seconds, well, more than that. But when they're flying the fighters, it's not like having dialogue. You know what I mean? It's an action scene. So it's like the fact that you could make me like her a bit more, have that opening scene, have the ending scene, and I'm fully on board with her. That's not easy to do. Well, yeah, hell yeah. Well, I will keep saying this. After having all of you run off like pansies, the second I can't pick up the Darksaber, I don't know, but I'm assuming you guys have been running around with me for a minute, and to have you all dip out on me the second I can't lift the Darksaber or snatch it up, I don't want you wishy-washy turrets around. Get to stepping out of here. Yeah, I want to unite Mandalore, I'll forgive you, but I don't want you to be my main crew. Why would I want you to be my main crew? I need a new main crew. And then we have this happen, and I was like, aw, shit. Because everybody was making fun of me, Star Wars people, when I was like, no, I wouldn't want this wishy-washy team. Are you serious? They dipped out on me. I really like her having a new crew, and I really like Vizsla being the one to come up and say that to her. It was him, right?
Yeah.
I like his gun, too. That's really sick. It's getting me mad. Do you want to know what it is? I'll tell you why I like him. I can tell you exactly what it is.
See, I think why you...
I'm going to say one movie, and you guess the character. Predator.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura.
For sure.
Blaine. That's Vizsla. Do you want to know what? Look it up. I guarantee you that's in somebody's notes. They were like, Blaine from Predator? Put armor on him. That's going to be Vizsla. I should have finished this an hour ago. Oh, Order 66. Is that Sterling K. Brown? Who's Grogu flying around with? I think that's the first time he's like, oh, look, I'm safe with a man. And then it's like, not today. And so that's why he's so attached to Mando. Did he live? No. Flying around the town in Coruscant, which is now the Stepford Wives Creepville. It's like, get out. It's all messed up. Everybody's lobotomized. Everything's crazy. They're doing weird stuff. We find out that power being exchanged. These are things I really appreciate about this season so far. Power being exchanged to a different group that we're told is good. But the truth is, to the small folk, it don't mean nothing. It's just exchange of power. The same thing of going, it's not a mind flayer. It's just a similar prototype. And it's like, no, it's a mind flayer. You're just calling it a different name. Moff Gideon is totally still running around. I would like to see more Ahsoka show up, but I don't think that's going to happen with her own show coming out. But yeah, there are some things that this season is doing very well in The Mandalorian, and some things that I was snoozing on that now I'm fully on board for. I can't complain about this anymore. I was worried. It's not that I was complaining. I was worried about it. And now I'm like, nope, I'm back. But yeah, I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Hi to all the new subscribers. I have a new Succession video up. I should have my John Wick reviews up all weekend long. Starting tomorrow, we'll have John Wick 1 and 4. Because me and Mom are going to go see John Wick 4 tomorrow at 4. So I think I'm going to try to do 1 and 4 tomorrow night. And then 2 and 3 over the weekend. But yeah, make sure you guys are here for it. Oh, and we have Succession on Sunday. So we're going to have 2 and 3 done on Saturday. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed for all of it. I'm really excited. This is Succession's final season. Oh, and we'll talk about The Mandalorian again later. I'm on OF, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all the stuff down below with all the links.